Welcome everyone to Oxygen Not Included. I'm a little bit late to the party, I guess. I know everyone else has been playing this game and I'm a little bit far behind. So most of you will probably know more about this game than I do, so I'm not going to go through all the ins and outs of it. I know it's made by the same developer that made Don't Starve, which is a game I've never played. It's one I've watched and I was curious about, but I never actually kind of got around to playing it, unfortunately. But the art style is very similar. So I'm just going to jump straight in because, like I say, you guys probably know a lot more than I do, and as you can see, I've had a little go. I've got up to cycle 13, so I understand the basics, but I think the later game is going to be a little bit challenging for me, so let's go for a new game. I really do like the art style in this game, actually. It's kind of very simple, but yeah, really effective, and when you're kind of playing it, you just kind of forget where you are. Okay, so what have we got here? So, as a lot of people have pointed out already, that this kind of reminds you of RimWorld when it's kind of been set up. So, yeah, I understand it. And it also makes it, at the same time, very easy to get into. But there's lots of things you have to consider as well. So we got, like, Loud Sleeper, which I really don't want. Even though this person has got quite a few good traits. Irritable Bowel. So really we want someone that can dig. The strength, I think strength is to do with generating electricity. There we go. Or athletics maybe. Oh no, it says there. Movement speed plus 70. That person's going to be like a rocket. Strength. There we go. Carrying weight. So that's really good. But they're a very slow learner. That's interesting. Duplicant. Let's have a look. I'm not sure what the expectation with decor actually means, because this one's 15, this one's minus 15. Does this mean that Mystique doesn't really care, and that Vernon cares a little bit more? I'm not too sure. Well, let's keep shuffling it. We'll have a little look through, see what we get. Mouse breather. I don't want anything that's going to cause me any issues with oxygen. That's for sure. Gastrophobia, that means you don't like to cook, right? But very good at cooking. Go figure. That makes a lot of sense. Tinkering, gastrophobia, athletics, creativity, destructive. Wow, it's really difficult to actually know. Again, cooking. Actually, we'll go with this person. Elvira. And actually, we can rename these people, can't we? So this can be Noble Rambler. There we go. Why not? I'm going to assume he's got a fear of cooking, because I know Mrs. Rambler cooks quite a lot for him. Right, what have we got here? Narcoleptic. Slightly worrying, but I have a lot of good traits. Destructive. I think we might go with Mystique. Now the question is, who are we naming all these people after? I'm just literally going to pluck names kind of out of the air. I'm just thinking. Let's go with Welsh Girl. And Red. Okay, let's reshuffle you. If you want to be named after one of the, are they called duplicants? Is that their name? Yes. Let me know in the comments. Obviously, the first three people I'm going to name anyway. Tinkering, medicine, cooking, gastrophobia. What else could we get? Strength. Oh, you might be quite good. Yokel. You got the brightest star in the sky. Mole hands, destructive, medicine digging. Right, okay. This one's going to be... Oh, it's a woman. I was going to call this one Night Ghost. Just a yokel thing. You kind of made me think... Let me think for a minute. What about... Sorry, Cathra. I'm not... Don't... Ignore the yokel. Ignore that. But, you're just the first person that comes to mind there. So, name your colony. Not so yucky home. Ooh... These are some of the most difficult things, but we always go for Freckleston, so why not? Embark. Let's go for it. Right. So, yeah, this is the thing that really gets me. The crew has awoken miles beneath the surface of an unfamiliar terrestrial body. Oddly, they have no recollection of how they got here. So I'd like to think they run a spaceship. And they don't know how they crash landed, which is fine. It's maybe a bit of a cop-out on some kind of storyline, I don't know. But this is the thing that really tickles me. it might be best to start digging. Okay, that's a tip as to what you need to do, but it's kind of like, why would you dig? Wouldn't you try and get back to the surface? Although there's no oxygen up there. But yeah, okay, so again, most of you probably know about this game, so I'm not going to go into great detail, but again, I'll probably need your help. So I know this oxalite produces oxygen. So initially, this room here has oxygen, which is fantastic, but this runs out over time, so I need to look at other ways of producing oxygen. And I think, yeah, this is algae. Now, there's so many different ways of pronouncing this word. If the way I pronounce it doesn't suit you, I'm sorry, but algae is what I'm going to call it. This can be used to produce oxygen, which is fairly realistic. We've got some water. It's a nice oxygenated room here. There's plenty of algae around here, though. It might be worth actually digging. So we've got dirt, sandstone, sand, more algae, more algae, more algae. I'm actually liking this map. God, there's tons of algae. And we've got some mealwood, which will be quite used to get, but they're in an unbreathable environment at the moment, and that room's unbreathable too. We've got plenty of clean water. We've got some dirty water over here. It's not too bad. This is going to be fantastic for us. It's almost tempting to dig a hole down and drain it all into here. We'll probably do that as time goes by. We've got some more mealwood here. Okay, so well, initially we're going to have to dig because we literally have no resources. Oh, you're oxygen. That's fine. So we're going to dig out. So what I've learnt so far, they all suddenly look this direction. That's kind of funny. Will it do the same? No. Is that... Okay, that's got oxygen too. Let's unpause the game and get them working. I forgot what I was going to say now. There's something in my mind. Oh yeah, they can reach 2 tiles high, I think, because they are 2 tiles high, so any gap needs to be 2 high, and I think they can reach 2 further above it. So if I told them to mine this, for example, they probably wouldn't be able to reach it without some other means of getting there, such as a ladder. Okay, and the ground tends to need some kind of support if you want to build anything on top of it. Now we've got water here. I'm probably going to tunnel down here with a ladder so they can get water when they need it. They don't need it right now, but at least we have the facility. What are you? Fertilizer. Interesting. See, I really don't know what a lot of this is, so it's gonna be interesting. Let's chuck in a storage compactor so they can tidy up all these things, because they'll just leave it all on the floor. So you have different things here. We've got sweep, so if I was to select that and drag along the ground, it's going to tell them to pick up all the bits. They would probably naturally do it if they weren't doing anything else. At least I think. When you get the storage, you have to actually come in and tell it what to store. So you could just go straight with all, but there's going to be certain things you probably wouldn't want in there, such as poop or contaminated dirt. Okay, so I've got to think about things like beds. Well, I'm going to tunnel down a little bit, so let's go with that, and we will. So we need 2 there, 2, yeah, and we will come across here. So we're going to make a bit of a bedroom sort of area. Now there's lots of different things to think about. Now obviously oxygen's one thing, food is another. They need the toilet. Got to keep them happy, and there's all kinds of gases. So we got oxygen, which is fine. So we got this lovely, very breathable environment, which you can see there's little red splodges on already, which is unbreathable, which is probably is it carbon dioxide? Yeah, carbon dioxide, because they're breathing out and there's nothing to filter that out. So you've got various gases, like very toxic, slightly toxic. A black space like that means there's no oxygen or gas whatsoever. We got a power grid, which we've not got. Temperature, so it's temperate at the moment, but certain things generate more heat, so I'm guessing that's going to make them uncomfortable. So there's lots and lots and lots of things to really think about. So some beauty is generated by this kind of portal thing. What's it actually called? A printing pod. Okay, how do we get out of here? There we go. So if I mark... yeah, let's dig all of this out. Now you have an option when you're... Let me switch to dig tool. So you've got this, which is a priority. So 1 being the lowest priority, 9 being the highest. So I can prioritize things to whatever I want. which is really, really useful if you want something specific being done. At this stage, I'm not really fussed. I'll let them do whatever they want. I think this might be a slightly tall room, but I'm thinking at some point we're probably going to have to run some piping through here for coolant and stuff, so I've made it a little bit higher. And when you actually look, this place is huge, and the further you expand, the more of the map is revealed. I don't know how big they actually get, because I've not got that far. Well, there we go. And every so often, so we're on cycle 1, which is day 1. But you also get more people. So in 2.1 cycles, so in just over 2 days, we're going to get another duplicant. Now you get a choice of 3, much like at the beginning, but if you don't like any of them, you can't shuffle, I don't think. I think you're kind of stuck with them, which is interesting. So we got a little bit of food. We got 20,000 calories, which is sufficient for now. I'm not too panicked about that. They're working away quite diligently. Let's up the speed a little bit. Is it 2? No. How do you increase the speed? Is it tab? There we go. So yeah, still learning. Oh, someone's out of oxygen. But that's, as you can see it kind of moving in the background like a liquid. So if we switch to oxygen, you can see it's a little bit unbreathable. So the oxygen here is moving itself down. So they're going to move to somewhere where they can breathe. And some of the oxygen is going to trickle down here too. And I think the carbon dioxide is also down there. I guess various gases are different weights, aren't they? Let's kind of do this. Let's open it up and give a little bit more area so there's more space for that to flow. I think that might be a fairly good idea. But it is coming down, and it's coming from here. We've got this, but we will chuck some other things in here as well, just to help. So I think we'll look for beds. Why are beds? Are they furniture? Yes. So I think we got 3 people. We'll chuck them in so they can sleep. We don't want them unhappy for not being able to sleep. We got food, which we can't really do anything with yet. What have we got for oxygen? Nothing. Do we have to research to get this stuff? Missing resources. Raw metal. Okay, so that's what's slowing me down there. That's fair enough. So where have we got metal? It's fertilizer. I think it's usually like a coppery colour. I don't know if there's some granite over there. There's lots of algae. I'm really liking it. What are you? Obsidian? There is little creatures around as well, which eventually we will see. Wait, a sandstone. Aha. We could take some of this. So let's mine that. Dig. And let's increase the priority just a little bit. Now this has got oxygen in it, so I don't mind. So we're interested in this. Now see, they've suddenly stopped doing that to go for this. So the priority tool does work. I would say, just from some of the videos that I have watched of other people playing, it does get a little bit flawed the further into the game you go. It's not perfect. Now I don't want to dig into here because it's going to suck the oxygen into that environment too, and we're only producing a certain amount. Let's kind of dig through that if we can as well, because it will kind of release that stone a little bit. So they're going to dig that. They can jump over 1 square as well, that's the other thing. So even though there's going to be a gap there, they can jump it, which is brilliant. I don't think, if I ask them to do that, can they reach that? I don't think they'll be able to. No. But if I was to, say, ask them to do that, maybe need that too. There we go, so we got this. So it converts algae into oxygen. That isn't too bad. It becomes idle when the room enters a maximum air pressure range. I don't know if I need one of these now, because we're producing oxygen, but it doesn't clear the carbon dioxide, so that's something else we need to think about. We've got power. Oh, they're all going to go to bed. So while I do that, we're going to have a look around. So we've got research, which we need to do, medicine. Ah, an outhouse. Now I want that literally out of the way, because it's going to let off noxious gases. So where can we put that? Well, this is contaminated, contaminated, and contaminated. Maybe we will tunnel through here and kind of have it over here somewhere for the moment. So if we get them to dig, I'm not going to do this one really high, just for now. And I can't actually build doors, so, well, at least, oh yes I can, but that one lets people through. Or should I say it lets gas through. It would be a very good door if it didn't let people through. So we've got that going. Food. So we could do this now, but in order to get that work, we're going to need power as well. So I might put that over here. Once they, yeah, let's let them dig that out, because we still got plenty of food for the moment. Let's drag that across there. We'll put the food on this side. How is the air looking? So the carbon dioxide seems to drop. So it's all building up in this area as it stands. So right where they're sleeping is where it's going to be building up. So we'll, I don't know if we tunnel down, whether it will drop down a hole. There is that. Let's deconstruct that. Let's test the theory. Is it doing that? It is, yeah. So if we just tunnel down, because we're going to want this algae here anyway. So let's set them off on that. So now we've got some more metal as well, obviously, which is going to allow us to do some of the other bits and pieces. So food. So I reckon if we put, let's put that there. Oh, speaking of food, they are all going to go and eat. The looks on their faces are absolutely brilliant. Sometimes you just got to kind of zoom in and have a look at what they're actually up to. It is really funny. Oh my goodness, they make some serious noise. It'd be interesting to see what we can actually do with this. Oh, they all need a poop now, and I forgot to put that in. Oh dear. That's not good. So let's prioritize 9. Hopefully they don't do their business everywhere. So I want the toilet in here. Now hopefully they should just target this first. With any luck. Oh no, this isn't looking good. Doesn't have to be. Let's put it there. I should have probably prioritized 9 that, but let's prioritize. What's 5? 5's the normal one, so let's strike that to 5. Now I'm guessing they have oxygen. Not a lot of it. Now hopefully this is what they're going to do. I think sand as well. If I dig this out, I think the sand falls through, so that's something else to be aware of. It's kind of, it's like liquid, or it acts in that sense. It's very fluid. Here we go. Oh, they got a bit of an oxygen problem. Sounds like they're farting at the same time. It's kind of interesting. Aha, so we need the algae terrarium. That's something we're going to need. Now, I can chuck this in if we're getting oxygen issues, but I do believe if we look through some of these reports, so added, removed, and net, so oxygen usage. Okay, so from my point of view, we're not actually using, oh dear, they've done their business everywhere. Oh no. Wow, they seriously go when they go. So let's get them to mop this up, because it does make them unhappy if they walk through contaminated muck and water. The look on their face when they're cleaning it though. Oh, that's brilliant. Well, at least they've cleaned up. Well, there's a toilet here now. There is the positive. Okay, so power. We're going to need one of these. I think Noble refers to them as a squirrel cage. But basically, they cycle to generate power, which is quite fascinating because the amount of energy spent just to power a light bulb is, and this is in reality, is quite a lot. So we'll chuck a battery too. And the reason being, if you don't know, without the battery, the person would have to be cycling constantly to keep power to this. The battery just keeps things running. It will drain out, but the first thing that gets charged, I'm guessing, is this. That will fill that up quite easily. There's a lot of power generated by one of these manual generators. I think there is other options later on. There we go. Now someone will probably jump on that. We can change the jobs. Again, a little bit like RimWorld. But at the moment, I'm not too fussed. So, which one is it? Dig power. So, athletics 7. So, I would like to think Noble Rambler would be the person on there. This is the most athletic person. Which he might well do. Is he going for it? Yeah, there we go. He's jumped on it now. And he leveled up as well. So, we get insufficient oxygen generation. Yeah, that's fine. Cathro construction is now at 1. Okay, should... Oh. Missing all the tips. Not even looking at them. So, yes, oxygen. Yeah, well, we can deal with that. I could, in all fairness, chuck even, one of these in. I think it may be here, because it's in kind of an open sort of area where there's lots of room for oxygen to move around. So, are we missing something here? Are we missing some metals, maybe? It's quite possible. Or, if we prioritise... Did I not put the cable all the way across? I did. So what's the problem? No fabrications queued. Okay, so we got mush bar. So what is this made from? It's made from poop, I think. An edible... Was that petrified? Putrefied mud slop. Preferable to starvation, but only just barely. Ingredients: dirt and bottled water. Okay. So we can fabricate like this. Or we can tell them to do it indefinitely. So we'll just do a couple just to top up the food. Someone will more than likely get on with that. Noble is filling it up. They need water. So I would like to think someone will probably come down here now. Here we go. Here comes Welsh Girl. And there we are. Sucking up the water. Fantastic. I think this is starting to run out slowly as well. Okay, this needs power as well. I didn't realise. So we will just run a power cable up like so. Now you see the battery is full at the moment from what Noble did, and that will drain as this starts to get used or as this gets used. It's so much fun, it really is. I don't think I'm doing it justice right now, but it is lots of fun. Let's just dig this bit out as well. God, that makes some seriousness. Look at that. It's just disgusting. Otherwise, Catherine's just like watching it come out. Oh dear. Let's mark that to be swept because we've still got a little bit of space. We're probably going to need, at some point, another storage. In fact, let's put it in now. Which one is it under? There we are. Has somebody leveled up? Noble Rambler Athletics is now 1. Brilliant. And Welsh Girl's having a go because the power's running out. But realistically, that should be Noble. So how are we doing for oxygen? Ah, I was right. Look, it's all gone down here. This is oxygen too, isn't it? Yes. I could dig the whole way because we've got mealwood down here, which is something we can use. So let's send that the whole way down. I don't think it'll let me because the plant's there. That's fine. But that means all the carbon dioxide is going to come down here, which is kind of out of the way, which is also a good thing. So everyone is busy at the moment. We got Catherine making food. Noble Rambler's building and probably going to tidy up. Welsh Girl is generating some power for us. So we're kind of at a point where you think, yeah, we need another person. 0.8 cycles. It might be worth getting a bed ready for them. And hopefully they're not completely inept people that we don't want. Right, where's Noble's carrying that big jug of water to keep Castro working? And then, look at that, he's so busy just doing everything. He's keeping everything going for us. Oh, time for sleep. There we go, and then Noble's off as well. Brilliant. So let's have a quick see. So, yep, that is literally going down there, which is fine. It's not here. It almost looks, I think that's just a bright light, but it makes it look like this generates some kind of oxygen. I don't think it does. So we got our power. So at the moment, that's going to run out very soon, which means this will stop working. So we probably need more batteries. And probably need someone like Noble Rambler on there really powering it up just to cover overnight, because we don't want things switching off when everybody's sleeping. Temperature is starting to get a little bit warmer. I'm not too sure why some of these ladders are warm. Doesn't make much sense. The machine kind of makes sense because, you know, it is actually working, so things tend to get hot. But they are going to heat up the environment around them, so it's something we'll have to think about in the future. We've got lighting, plumbing, so we're still pretty basic. Yeah, the areas I think when areas are untidy like this, I think it makes it less desirable as well. So Noble's gone on there. Let's probably put another battery in, because I don't want whoever's on here constantly cycling if we can help it. See, he's filling that up quite nicely. Welsh Girl is making some food. I think we can probably... Let's cancel 2 of those, because we want to keep things moving along as much as we possibly can. And I would like it if they tidied up a little bit. So let's... oh, we got some food there as well, I can see. We've got these little things here. A muck root. Is it food? A seedless fruit, yes, so they can eat that. Right, so Noble's completely charged that up now, so he's going to jump off and carry on about his business. If this was built, he would probably carry on cycling. That's not going to be generated any more food just yet, so, well, speaking of food, they're going to eat again. So that's not going to cause us any drain of power, but this is. Let's have a quick look. Is it vitals? No. Reports. Oxygen generation 59, 60 added, removed. So we're producing a little bit more than we're actually using, which is brilliant. We want to try and keep it that way as much as possible, but these are going to run out. So we've got a little bit down here, more algae. It's the plants I'm interested in for the food. We've also got to think about research and things like that too. So what's everyone up to? I don't want to give them anything else to build. Let's speed the game up. So that storage is now full. Somebody just leveled up. Welsh Girl Athletics is level 2 because she's doing lots of running around. So I'm not going to tell them to build anything else. Let's let them do what they've got to do. And the next duplicate will probably arrive very soon. Welsh Girl is charging this up. Oh, everyone, they always need to do the same things at the same time. So they all need to eat at the same time, sleep, poop. And there goes Welsh Girl as well. So there is oxygen in here, which is fantastic. What are you up to, Welsh Girl? Picked up algae. Okay. Now we can do something with this stuff, I think. We can harvest that. Why isn't this growing? Can we do something with it? Dig up. Well suited for domestication. Growth progress 74%. If we dig this up, do we keep it? I'm not too sure how that works yet, because I've not tried growing my own food, so... Okay, I'm guessing that's what Catherine is doing right now, which allows me to put the ladders all the way down too, which is fairly useful. Though they will jump. There we go. So now mostly, I think, as soon as they've done this, I will assume they will start tidying up. At least I think. Oh, we need to set this to all. That might be a good idea. Yep, it looks that way. I thought it's probably going to fill up fairly quickly. Wow, you can build them in the middle of the air. I didn't realise. Let's put another one in. Oh, Welsh Girl has fallen asleep. One of the perks of one of her traits. Which one was it? Narcoleptic. Brilliant. Okay, Catherine is harvesting the food. Okay, so we need to think about research a little bit, because I don't think... Increases decor and reduces duplicant stress. If I put... Oh, wow, look at that. That's not... Oh, that's decor. I thought that was oxygen. I was going to panic for a second. I wonder... Because we've got two... Okay, if I put one here... Because there's enough room for another 2 beds. Speaking of which... We have an option for another duplicant. Right. So, ooh, gastrophobia, small bladder, iron gut. Lots of perks does Carl have. It's a little bit destructive. Strength. I think we'll take Carl. And I think this is probably also a good spot to end the episode. So, if we print Carl, if you want to be named this character, let me know in the comments, and I will happily oblige you. Just watch what... Yeah, Carl is straight to work, yeah. And I've quite enjoyed this. It's one of those games that I think I could probably just sit here and play all day long and not think twice of it. And even when it all goes wrong, I would probably just start the game up again and continue. But we've got a lot of tidying up to do, that's for sure. But until next time, as always, take care.